I apologize in advance, guys, that I haven't continued with this whole streaming of each Best Picture winner, reviewing it, but I'm back. So without further ado, 2001 Best Picture is A Beautiful Mind, and A Beautiful Mind is directed by Ron Howard, who's directed such films now as Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code, Cinderella Man, Rush, and Solo Movie, which is coming out soon. And it stars Russell Crowe, Jennifer Connelly, Paul Bettany, Christopher Plummer. It's a great cast. I mean, it's one of those casts where you can tell the director and the casting director, they were just like on point. They knew that these are the people that could bring forth the characters to life. And they do such a great job. Like, these performances are fantastic. Russell Crowe in particular, I think, stands out as John Nash. Like, he has just these subtle things that he does that if you've seen the film, you'll know what I'm talking about. But he just does these like little things that just work so well to what he's trying to convey. And his character arc is very interesting. I mean, I didn't honestly know the story about John Nash going into it. And although I'll get into his story like at the end, but I didn't know anything about him going into it, really. My mom did spoil the twist, honestly. Like, this was the first time I saw Beautiful Mind was like many, many years ago. She spoiled the movie for me, like, you know, the big reveal, which is a shame, because it's like, if you go into this film knowing as little as possible, you'll be surprised. Speaking of which, the premise, I would just say it as John Nash is in college and he gets recruited by the government for trying to help solve the problems of the Cold War. That's all the premise I would give. That's what I wish I knew going into the film. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But anyways, with that aside, this is a very interesting story. It's investing, I say. It's the type of story where every single second, it just draws you in more and more. It is compelling. And it's the type of film also, like I said, where if you go into it knowing as little as possible, you'll be able to appreciate it to its fullest. It's backed up by a stellar score by the late James Horner. It is extremely well shot with a lot of pan shots. It's a lot of long takes. It's just very interesting, and it just draws you in. Its pacing is also very fast for the most part. Its editing style is very interesting. Like I said, it's a very interesting film. It does draw you in. And it did, in my opinion, pave the way for all of the cliches of the biopic genre. Because this film came out 17 years ago, and they obviously did biopics. Biopics has been around for the longest time. But I feel as though this film really, really did inspire, like, a lot of biopics to kind of, like, take this formula that works so well in Beautiful Mind and try and replicate it. And in my opinion, no other film has really been able to do it that much. I mean, heck, The Imitation Game almost did it as well, but not nearly as well as Beautiful Mind. Like, A Beautiful Mind works on so many levels, emotionally, entertainment-wise, and artfully speaking. It is a great film. However, it is not a perfect film. I think that this film, the first half is better than the second half. Like, once you figure out what is going on, it just kind of lowers down in expectations. And when that happens, it just kind of makes you feel like, you know, it stinks that this kind of dampened in quality. It's still great in quality, don't get me wrong, but it's not like fantastic the way the first half was. I also think that whilst I respect that this won Best Picture, and this by no means is one of those Best Pictures where I look back and say, oh my goodness, like, how did this win? Like, this isn't like a Crash instance, which I'll get into when I review that. This is the type of instance where I'm just like, it's good, but winning over Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, or even Memento, or Mulholland Drive, which both weren't even nominated, that's what kind of stinks about the film. Because it's like, you know that year there were so many great films, and it won, like, A Beautiful Mind won over all these stellar films, like even Black Hawk Down, which wasn't nominated. So it stinks, but at the same time, it's like, I respect it. But I also, on top of that, I think that this isn't, I say it's based on a true story, but it really isn't based on a true story, because there are so many, like, factual things about the film, I won't spoil, but there are so many factual things that aren't replicated into the actual film. A lot of things that are represented or just aren't true that are in the film. And I think that stinks, but I mean, it does happen when you're trying to get a film to have like mainstream success, which this film did. So it had to sacrifice it, but I don't want people to go into it thinking that it is the true story of John Nash. It does do a great job with what it's depicting and everything. That I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying it's a shame that it had to take some liberties, or majority of liberties, but at the sake of telling a compelling story. It is compelling, though, nonetheless. So, I'll be giving A Beautiful Mind, though, overall, a 4.5 out of 5-star rating. Don't get me wrong, it's a film I watch once or twice a year. I own it on Blu-ray. It is a great film, but Best Picture over a lot of other films that came out in 2001, I don't think so. But that's just my opinion, guys. What did you guys think of A Beautiful Mind? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. And I will be reviewing 2002's Chicago. So look for that review soon. And guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I'll catch you guys later.